Okay, welcome to Eufònic Festival in Sant Carles de la Ràpita on the south of Catalonia, and that is the last village. Ai, això és això, quin susto. It's the last village before to arrive to Castellón. So we are on the frontier. And this morning we have been doing the open window Catalonia, and now, we are doing the open window Canada. I want to ask you, sorry, because my English is not really good. There is long time that I doesn't speak English. So I will try to be very clear. But probably I will do a lot of mistakes. So, Maiko, welcome to Sant Carles de la Ràpita. And Maiko is the Teatre de Remplacement in Vancouver. I know Teatre de Remplacement from a long time ago. I saw different shows of them. But this year I discovered Maiko with a very nice performance named Mine, and she will explain to you a lot of things about mine and the family. Go.
Thank you. Hi, can everybody hear me? I just wanted to make sure my mic is working.
Digueu que sí.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is so nice. It's very early here in Vancouver, but what a great way to wake up.
Per ella són les 7 del matí.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Marta. So much thanks to you and the organizers for having me and for giving me the opportunity to talk about this work. It's really nice to see people I know, Vincent and Celine, my friends from Montreal. So it's wonderful to be here. I'm Maiko Yamamoto, as Marta said, and I'm one of the co-artistic directors of a company called Theatre Remplacement, and we're based here in Vancouver, in Canada, on the unceded territories and the ancestral lands of the Coast Salish peoples. Basically, to give a little bit of a rundown about what Theatre Remplacement does, I'm going to talk a little bit slower too, just in case I'm going too fast. Thank you for speaking English, everybody, also. Theatre Remplacement makes experimental and intercultural new work and tours it around to different places, or did tour it around to many different places. Our processes are highly collaborative, meaning for us it's really about getting the right people in the room together. And sometimes that's not always people who are performance makers. Sometimes we use other experts and also just everyday people as well. And we do whatever we can, basically, to make sure that everybody can be operating at their best. And sometimes that means being in challenging situations as well, or challenging each other on many different things. A lot of the time, our processes are about trying to find the most interesting marriage between form and content. And we're always in pursuit of the potential of performance form, whether it's the form that comes first or whether the content comes first. And the content is usually just anything that is interesting to us, that we're observing in the world around us. And then this usually gets mashed up with personal stories and material. And so in this way, we're also very interested in autobiography and biography. It's an essential element of all of our work. In the show that I'm going to talk to you about today, Mine, you'll see this combination at play. You'll see a form, we're dabbling with a form. You'll see very specific content. The show basically uses the video game Minecraft as a theatrical form to tell stories about mothers and sons, and to examine this very essential relationship, especially in a world that is increasingly getting more and more digital. I'm just going to start by showing the trailer of the show so you can all get a sense of the piece and the aesthetics at play, hopefully. So I'm going to now do this thing where I share a YouTube video. I've never used Jitsi before. So bear with me. Okay, let's see if this works.
Està, vale. Surt això, imatge? Veieu que si el propietari d'este vídeo te permite...
Maiko is saying that it's a private video, actually.
No, perquè ho... A veure? Ho ha compartit amb YouTube. Ui. No. Li dic alguna cosa? Maiko doesn't go.
It's not working.
It's not working, no.
No, I tested this last night to make sure that this YouTube seemed to be the best platform. Is it working for anybody else?
No, it's actually saying that it's a private video, and that's why we cannot see it.
Yes.
Okay. Just 1 second. Will you bear with me for one moment? I'm just going to make it unprivate. How do I do that?
You go down to the screen, and there is a,
Yes.
and there is a such of a TV that there is rated share the screen, no? És aquesta, no?
Oh yeah, it's just I have to make it.
Yeah,
not
that's
a
right.
private video.
Share the screen. And you open the video in your where you have in your computer.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'm gonna try that. It was very laggy when I did this yesterday, but let me try that. That's probably a good idea. Here we go. Share screen. Your entire screen. Share.
Good. Now.
Now? Okay.
Yes.
It's gonna be slow, but hopefully you can see this. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, Maiko. Ara ha tret el so. El so som nosaltres o és ella? Bueno. I si jo parlo, ella em sent? Ah, perquè si no els explicaria jo el que és. Ella em sent? So, let me introduce mine in Spanish to my colleagues. It's okay for you, Maiko?
Yes.
Okay, so Maiko has a child, and he discovered that his boy is all the time playing Minecraft. And they decided to work together with this, to use Minecraft as a tool of proximity with his son. The point is that Minecraft, they rebuilt these screens of the relationships with mothers and son as Bambi, and Terminator. And to play Minecraft in live, there is you see on the table, there is a group of teenagers that they are specialists in Minecraft, and they play Minecraft in live. But they rebuild and recreate this new world in Minecraft, using Minecraft as a tool. Ho heu entès? Perquè he demanat per parlar en català i m'he posat a parlar en anglès. Veieu que ells fan servir tot. Jo ja li he dit lo de l'àudio. Llavors, l'espectacle passa amb adolescents locals, és a dir, que pots utilitzar la comunitat d'adolescents locals especialistes en Minecraft per desenvolupar l'espectacle en live. Aquesta és la Maiko, aquest és el seu fill.
Okay, just going to stop that. I hope that works at all in any small way. And I'm going to stop sharing this YouTube video. Did that work at all?
The video goes, but we cannot listen the video, so I explain to the people what it's happened.
Thank you, Marta.
Okay.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
No, don't worry.
I'll just explain a little bit more about the show. At least you got to see what it kind of looks like. But essentially, when my son Hokuto was 8 years old, he's 13 now, he started to play Minecraft, and he became quickly very, very obsessed with the game. And it was causing a lot of fights and conflict at home because it was very hard to get him to stop playing. And usually at the end, we would end up both in tears. And I really felt like it was causing a huge rift between us. And I also didn't like the mother I had to be in that situation. Didn't make me feel very good as a mom. And he would always ask me to play. And I would say no, because I saw it as something that was bad or, potentially addictive. And that was a huge realization. Imagine saying no to your child when they want to play with you. But it became very clear to me that Minecraft wasn't going anywhere. And so I started to do my own research. And I read some articles and I learned a little bit more about the game. And I also realized that of all the games he could be playing, Minecraft isn't really the worst game he could play. And so I enrolled him in a camp where they had lots of kids that were similarly, obsessed with the game as him. And he had specific times to play with the community, and things got a little bit better. And eventually he asked me to play with him again. And this time I said yes. And this was a huge turning point because as we were playing together and I was stumbling around trying to do anything in the game, what I realized is that he was taking care of me inside of the game. So he was building me a shelter, he was feeding me, he was putting me to sleep. He was basically trying to get me to live a better life in Minecraft. He was teaching me all the skills I need to know. And I found this really fascinating because in the game, he was parenting me. And because I do theater for a living, experimental theater, I thought it could be a very interesting forum to talk about this kind of dynamic, this relationship. And also wanting to talk about the tension between adults and kids and the digital world. And it is a show that is meant to be watched by kids of the same age and their adult counterparts. And that's been something really interesting in the show, that it's very broad audience. And a lot of the times the kids are really the ones that are a little step ahead than the adults. And I think this is also really interesting for an audience. So we did what we always do. We gathered the right collaborators together. We found, there's nobody that can replace them. The collaborators were people who had experience in multimedia design and were gamers and theater makers. And we started to explore how the game could be used as a performance. And we examined all sorts of stories about mothers and sons. We looked at pop culture, literature, history, the news, and then we matched those stories up with our own personal stories. And Hokuto, my son, was there every step of the way. He was creating the show with us. He even wrote his own story, which appears at the end of the show. And a lot of the material is as a result, seen through the perspective of a tween, of a person on the edge, on the cusp of adulthood, that needs to, move farther away from their parents. When we started making the show, none of us, except for Hokuto, was good at Minecraft. We didn't have any experience, so he was really the expert. And working on the show, we all became better at it, and we found that as we got better, dramaturgically, we could make a lot happen. We could make a lot of visual scenarios exist. We could follow the imagination of the child and of the stories. So it was really new and exciting and a generative creative process. The form and the content were speaking to each other in what we found to be really interesting ways. And as we continue to do the show, we've built some processes in place that help to keep it fresh. So Marta mentioned we work with 4 local youth anywhere we go to, and this has turned out to be, although that sounds like really hard, it's actually been one of my favorite things about the process, because they're the experts, so they bring all of their perspectives. They keep us real, like they challenge us a lot, and they try to say they tell us all the time we're so uncool about this stuff, and so for us it's about like trying to stay cool in their eyes. The game also is constantly changing. They're doing updates of Minecraft. They have to keep it interesting to people. And so, we have to roll with that as well. Whenever there's an update, if they introduce pandas or foxes into the game, we got to put them into the narrative, or else, we get called on it. The kids say it's not cool to not use everything that's available. After the show, most adults that I talk to, the kids just want to know how we did things, but most adults always come up to me and they ask me, how has this experience changed your relationship with your son? We still fight a lot about video games, but I did come to understand how to talk to him about it, and how to stay in dialogue with him about all these new and unknown and scary digital places that he's navigating more and more. And we really do love the show. We do love doing it together. For me, it's still work. It's very much a job. But there are moments when I catch him in the show and I feel really curious and inspired about what he's doing inside of the process. And at the end of the day, we share this perspective into each other's worlds. I get to see him as a gamer and a son, and he gets to see me as a mom and a theater maker. So that's a little bit about the show. I can maybe send the link later so that you can hear the sound. Marta, I'll send it over to you. But that's it. Thanks so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk about the show.
Okay, thank you, Maiko. No tinc el meu micro posat, o sí? Thank you, Maiko. Algú li vol preguntar alguna cosa a la Maiko? Somebody wants to make a question to Maiko? Or it's okay? You are okay? Okay, let's go to the second part. It's la sœur of Théa innate Yaffe, de la sœur of Théa ja avançant.
Bonjour Marta.
El Nate is an artist that has been presented in Oftea this year. And well, boys, let's go. That's your time.
So I'll start. My name is Vincent de Repentigny. I'm the artistic and general director of La Sarre Art Vivant. La Sarre is producing the Oftea, the Off Festival Trans-Amérique that you might know. Our main objective is to present emerging artists from Montreal mainly, but also a bit from Quebec and Canada. Just first, I want to acknowledge that I'm located right now on unceded indigenous lands. The Kanangayaga Nation is recognized as the custodians of the lands and waters on which we gather today. So the Oftea, La Sarre is a structure and we help the artists in different ways. So we do delegate production, we do residencies, but I will mainly focus on the FTA that we did last year. It was the 14th edition, and as you know, with the COVID and all the context that we are experiencing right now, we had to choose between doing nothing and actively start to create a festival, because we were when it all started in March, we were 2 weeks prior to the beginning of the announcement, the unveiling of the program of the FTA. So everything was ready to go, and we just realized at that point that it will never happen. I mean, the first 2 weeks we thought that we will just go back and continue. That was the best joke that we did, I think, for the months. But quite fast we realized that we could not do the festival as we were expecting to do. So the first thing that we tried, I mean, the important thing for us was really to create a solidarity with the artists. So I wrote a message to all the artists 2 days after the beginning to tell them that we'll be there with them, that we'll find a way to pay them in any way, because for us, our community is quite precarious. I mean, they don't have a lot of money, so we wanted to be sure that we could, help them throughout that process. We had 22 shows or performances inside the festival. 7 of them decided not to present anything, and we were really clear with them that it was a choice. I mean, that it could not, if they didn't want to do something, online or from distance, it was a possibility. So 7 of them decided to just wait for the next edition or next possibilities. And 15 of them decided to transform in 6 weeks their own practice or project. And Nate was one of them. And so we had this conversation, really important conversation about what it meant to create in that context. And one of the things that was really resonating inside of us, it was the fact that we needed to propose the diversity of platform. So not only online, not only digital, but also finding ways to be able to create a live feeling during the festival. So some of the experience were online, of course, on Zoom, on Google Doc, on different platforms. But some, as the one of Nate, was on the phone. Some was, sending by letter or, writing stuff, or even, walking in your neighborhood with sound. And so, and you're here. So it was really about creating that live experience that we couldn't live inside a venue at that point. One of the reasons that we tried that laboratory, and tried all these proposals was the fact that we felt that if we didn't do that at that point, it would be really hard for us to imagine the future. By doing, actively trying stuff, we were like trying ideas and taking a risk. I mean, mainly the artists were taking a risk. We were with them to support them inside that process, but trying to expand the possibilities of the festival. And I think it's been a wise choice for us in our community, because it's been I have a lot of phone calls, of people around us just asking us, how did you do that? What was the possibility, and why did you do that choice? And so for us, being a laboratory for our community was really something important. The other really important fact is that all the artists worked with their necessity, urgency, and that's, I mean, Nate will talk about the way he experienced that, but for us, was really about what is urgent, what is the necessity in your practice that you want to, transfer to a new medium, to find ways to be in contact with this audience. And so that transfer opened new ways, new paths for the artists, and I think that's something that will keep, let some trace in the future. The last thing, because going fast and I want to let Nate talk a bit of his experience, but it was the question of accessibility. We knew that people around us were facing huge problems. I mean, with no income and trying to find ways of, so if we wanted to be there for the festival and with the artists taking a risk, we needed to find new ways to approach, and the decision we made was really to the festival was totally accessible. I mean, it was free, and people could, for $25 or $50, give a little bit of money to help the festival. And for us, it's been quite an amazing experience because we did as much as we do in a normal festival with that kind of, solidarity system around the box office. And so we realized that relation that we could build with our community, the artists and the audience, was not only about, selling tickets, but mainly about engagement with the risk and the discovery and the possibilities. So that's something that we'll, continue to think about for the next years. Just finally, I will just show you a couple of images, a short video of, a recap of the festival, so you'll have an idea of the experience. I'm always really surprised when I look at it because I don't think nobody really experienced the festival that way. It's so intense when you look at all these images, but being away from each other was not that experience, but it gives you a feeling of all the platforms and everything that we did. So I'm gonna try to share my screen, and I'm gonna try to. If you don't hear the sound, are you saying something right now, like the video? No.
No. Ai, mai me'n recordo.
This.
Tu el tens d'ahir? El teniu d'ahir, el de la Céline Coutable.
When I'm trying to, it doesn't do anything. Céline, je ne sais pas si toi... Moi, quand j'essaie de partager, ça fonctionne pas.
Dis que le disparem nosaltres. Vincent,
oui.
Nous avons les vidéos, si tu veux. Nous, on peut relancer la vidéo.
Parfait, faisons ça.
OK. Ell no la veu.
Ça me fait plaisir de faire votre rencontre, même si celle-ci semble très virtuelle pour l'instant.
Bonsoir, bonjour. La représentation va durer entre 2 et 5 minutes, sans entracte.
Queden 20 minuts.
À mesure que s'éloigne la France, elle se demande bien où cette aventure va la conduire.
Je me souviens déjà plus de ta peau fraîche qu'on cueille avec le dos de la main.
Bon, si jamais, Vincent, je peux partager. Hein.
On est de retour. We're back.
Però em senten ara? Avui. Excusez, parce qu'il y a une tempête et l'électricité a tombé complètement. Vincent, si tu veux, on peut relancer la vidéo une autre fois.
Ben oui, volontiers.
OK? Excusez-nous, mais c'est la nature. C'était pas nous. Ah oui, c'est les soutes.
Ça me fait plaisir de faire votre rencontre, même si celle-ci semble très virtuelle pour l'instant.
Bonsoir, bonjour. La représentation va durer entre 2 et 5 minutes, sans entracte. Bon spectacle.
Malgré cette course folle et effrénée, nous sommes à Noranda. Il n'y a pas eu de visiteurs à Noranda depuis au moins 2 ans.
quel kilométrage sentier êtes-vous?
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
À mesure que s'éloigne la France, elle se demande bien où cette aventure va la conduire.
Je me souviens déjà plus de ta peau fraîche qu'on cueille avec le dos de la main.
Ça aussi, moi, je peux le faire. On va le faire. On va soulever des masses avec nos mots.
So yeah, it gives you a little glimpse of what has been the festival. And the last thing that I just want to share before passing the mic to Nate was about the fact that for us, it was not, about transforming exactly what was the festival. I mean, the festival will be back in a different way, but for us, it was a way to react to that moment exactly where we needed to, we felt like it was important to propose something. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nate.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for inviting me.
Okay. Maybe we can explain a little bit about your show about dance by phone.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it was quite an experience to go through all of this, I'm sure, as it was for everybody. And I think that was weighing a lot on my mind as I was talking with Vincent, the Octier team, and thinking about what I would like to present. It wasn't just how to present something, but what is really needed for me to present for myself, and then also what would people want and need to see. And part of it, we were talking about this in May, or no, sorry, we were talking about it in March and April, but we were trying to project also like in May, what will people need? And for me, I had already been doing a lot of Zoom meetings, for example, and it seemed, in the beginning, like the best option was always just to put things online, like to film what you were dancing and then put the dance film online. And for me, my work is a lot about like interaction with people and the sensitivity of creating a space together and to really let our guard down and where we can really feel vulnerable and move without shame. That's the piece that I was programmed to perform at the Octier. It was really exploring like my relationship with my own body and how to not have shame and move without shame and how to create a space where everyone can move without shame. And this was done on a theater, but I was curious to know how I could possibly take those same explorations about how to create a space where we can all feel our bodies with no shame or to move together, but through a different medium. And first off, I have to say that FTL was so wonderful. It was like, it had moments of intensity because there's like a big unknown and everything seemed to be destabilizing around us, and me as an artist, I'm always feel like I need to represent myself first and foremost, and be like, okay, like, I need to speak up about my needs, and like I need to know that there's some sort of guaranteed payment. I need to know that I'm going to be well represented, that really just isn't just something, but it's something that represents me and everything that I'm about. And Vincent was talking about solidarity, and I think that was really the vibe of our conversations. Like always available to talk, really a spirit of collaboration to find something that really serves the festival, the artist, and then also the people. And I had this idea about a telephone performance because I had been reading poetry to my mom every night, and it became like a stabilizing ritual in my day to day. And I started to really love the sound of the feel of the words in my mouth, and it reminded me of like the tactile dance that I like to do. And I wanted to go forward with this idea that we could create a virtual space that's non-visual, but is still dancing. So that I could guide through my words the people who call in to do a sort of intimate dance with themselves, to incite a dance within their skin. And I found it was like, I was like researching, different things like guided meditation, to phone sex, to Feldenkrais, to self-hypnosis, so that it was still like a choreographic proposition. It wasn't just like, I don't know, like a workshop or something. I wanted to still be, choreographic in that sense. And yeah, so it's called Slippery Slit. I mean, the technical part of it was kind of interesting too, because it was also the spirit with the update was like, this is a laboratory. It doesn't have to be as polished as something that that is clearly part of your practice. You have like years to work on it. Like, I think the expectation of everyone will be understanding that this is something created in 6 weeks. And in a medium that is not my normal medium. So in that spirit, all kind of fun. We felt like we could all play and really give something to each other and to the people out of a spirit of like generosity and not just like perfectionism, for example. Even watching it now, I'm like, oh yeah, like this was really a project of the moment where everyone was very internal, self-reflective, not really used to being seen. No one was going out. Everyone was having existential questions. So it was really very specific to that time. I could share a little bit of it. Oh, there's also one other thing that was really cool about the format was that I was supposed to participate in 2 festivals back to back, and then I ended up doing the same performances in 2 festivals simultaneously in New York City and in Montreal, the Performance Mix Festival in New York City and then Yaffe in Montreal. So I was like, wow, this virtual space really feels boundaryless. Yeah. People called in from Europe, people called in from all across the world, and we were simultaneously really sharing this kind of invisible space. And it was a little bit hard for me because I didn't know who was there, so I'm performing to like the void. But people, when they called in, really liked it, often the anonymity. Like we use Zoom, but everyone called in with their phone numbers, so I don't actually see any names or anything. And the people who call in don't see anything at all. And people liked the fact that they were completely anonymous in this performance. It allowed them to be different with themselves. Some people were doing dishes while listening, some people were dancing, some people were lying on the ground. and also we played with the muting and unmuting. So I would talk to them to let us know we're all here, but quickly I had to mute everybody, otherwise it became chaotic and you couldn't hear anything. But then we would talk again a little bit at the end just to remind ourselves that we were all there. I don't know, I could share a little bit of it, but I know time is ticking.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can show us a little bit, and we are a little bit short in time, so you show us this, and we goes to Marie-Andrée and Frédéric. It's okay?
Yeah, great.
Okay,
I'll
thank
try.
you.
And if it doesn't work, we'll just, forget it. Here we go. Is it working? I don't know if it's sharing, but
To keep pores open, to take all the world into your cellular fluid.
Is it sharing?
We listen a voice and a verse.
No self-preservation.
But not image.
Your body will baby you.
No, les imatges no es veuen. No, it's only
That's
sound.
okay.
Oh, it's okay.
You're not supposed to see it, so.
Okay.
There's nothing to see.
It's only to see, to listen.
Yeah.
Okay. És la trucada que fa.
Now turn on your microphone.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to Marie-Andrée and Frédéric. Espera, que tinc que mirar aquí. Bonjour. Listen, first we go to show the video that you sent it yesterday about Caravan de Solos. Okay?
Marta,
we?
Are you gonna play the first version and the second version?
The version that you sent it yesterday.
Okay, just this one. Okay.
Just this one, and when we finish it, we will present it the first one. This one because we can see the chart, so we can talk about it. It's okay?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. El que hem de
Whoop.
Okay?
Merci.
Bonjour. Sorry. I would like if you can introduce to us Daniel Leveillé dance, because here usually when we listen the name of Daniel Leveillé dance, it seems that it's a company only focused in Daniel Leveillé works. So if you can give us a brief that what is Daniel Leveillé dance and what are you doing, it could be nice for us.
So, Frédéric, Frédéric, you take it?
If you don't mind. We're trying to shift that Daniel Leveillé dance. Like sometimes we call it Daniel Leveillé dance, sometimes we call it DLD or DLD. So it's like a bit more open concept. Yes, the company was founded by Daniel Leveillé, something like more than 30 years ago. And Daniel, in 2 years ago, retired as an artistic director. So that's where I arrived. That's when I arrived. But the company for maybe more than 10 years before that was already helping other choreographers to develop their let's say their network of in Europe and other parts of the world, so that they could present anywhere in the world. So the company was helping to connect the artists to other presenters, and that's how it became to be a bit more about the works of other artists. So, but it's mostly for developing a new the network for every artist. So that's why the company is now working not only for the artistic director, but for other artists as well that are officially represented by the company. But they produce their work by themselves. But the company is there to produce the tours and to develop the opportunities. That's how the company is a bit more open now. But it's also producing other types of events. There's an event during Senars that will not happen this year because Senar is not happening in the fall. So during Senars, which is a big event for producers in Montreal every 2 years in November in Montreal. So we're producing Série B. And Série B is kind of a festival in Senar. So it's presenting many artists to I would say a real audience, which say that to audience that is coming to see the show that is not professional, but this festival is kind of happening right during Senar, so presenters can come see the show in let's say a real ambiance, or a real a real show, because it's a real show, because they're real people seeing the show for the first time. So that's also what the company is doing. So maybe where we're doing other stuff, but let's say that's for now. I know I'm not really visible, but I wanted you to see that we're in Charlevoix right now, and that and we feel like we're at the beach, but it's a bit cold for a beach, but it's around here. So that's my. I might move so you can see my face, but you had to see the view first.
Yes.
I feel like I don't know, a really fancy resort or something. But okay.
Okay.
So,
can I bring some precision?
Yeah, go.
Yes.
Okay. So the one who was talking is Frédéric Gravet, the actual artistic director.
Yeah.
Sweden. Yeah.
And me, I'm Marie-Andrée Gougeon, general manager. I'm there since 2003 or 4. Actually, about what Frédéric was explaining, bringing with us some project of other artists than the one of the artistic director. At the beginning, we call it in English sponsorship touring project.
Okay.
Yeah, because at this time, and it was not 10 years ago, we began in 2006.
I said more than
14,
10 years
14 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, 14, 15 years. And because at this time, the individual artists couldn't apply for the touring.
Okay.
So there was requests from outside of Canada and they didn't have the tools, and I brought this idea to the board of the company, to Daniel Léveillé, and to the Arts Council. So that's why we're going on like that.
Okay.
I think it's just rapidly. Série B, what Frédéric was telling, gather the work of the artistic director, the work with the artists with whom we work regularly, but also the work of other artists that were not engaged, I would say. That's it. And now we have this year Caravan Solo, who kind of replace Série B in a certain way.
That is the link that I wanted to do. Serie B, it's during Sinners, but this year you take this amazing project named Caravan Solos in Charlevoix. Can you explain to us where is, why, how is the reaction of the people, and how you arrived to do that in this corner of the world? Because this morning we have been talking about the periferias, las periferias, no? Out of the big cities. So Charlevoix, if I understood well, it's far away. It's 5 hours from Montreal, at least, or 4.
Yeah.
So can you talk to us about this project?
Okay,
Sorry.
so yes, so we had like this idea, like anyway, we wanted like we had meetings between us and the company saying like we should be a bit more present elsewhere in the Quebec province, just because like we have to make some efforts, but it's really hard because there's like less opportunities, less presenters, less money. Everything is like more complicated. But we had to make this effort. But then what happened is like the exact way it happened is hard to tell because it's always moving. But there was this this program from the Quebec Art Council, like asking to find if you have any idea to work within physical distanciation and a show, and we knew about the place here, that there was this church that was available that we could rent, and we knew there was this program, and we knew we wanted to do something with many artists, because our mandate also is to work with more than the artistic director. So that's how it kind of like was put on a that's how we started it. But then we had some help from Quebec Art Council to make it happen, because it's complicated. We are away, we have to stay here, like it's one-on-one, so it's many money it's coming from like the audience, like let's say the box office. So that's how it became. But we wanted to do it because we wanted to make it as a real show, like in a big space with real lights, and the church is quite impressive. It's really nice to be in there. It's a really special place to be in. But we wanted to offer to an audience that maybe, because we're here, maybe they didn't see any contemporary dance show ever. So we're like, okay, we'll play it really strong, so now they'll be convinced and they want to see contemporary shows forever afterward, like a first date, you want to make it special. So this is how we presented it, like in the church, and we wanted to bring really different aesthetics, because this was like we had 5 solos, so we have really 5 really different aesthetics. There's one solo for me. There's one from with live music. I'm playing live music in the show. There's one which is more theater, like a monologue.
Yeah.
I created with Etienne Lepage. From in English, it's Thus Spoke. There's the 7th Star is a crump artist that is dancing. There's Pax, who's like a break dancer. That's like a project from Sauvano Gougeon from Nexler. It's all excerpt from the show. And finally, there's the work from Daniel Léveillé, danced by Justin Jeune. And so there's really 5 different aesthetics. But some people are seeing the 5 different solos. Some people are coming to see one solo. And it's all made so we're like really by the book with every rules, every
Yeah.
with the COVID situation. So that's also why we did it this way, to make sure that it was okay with all of that, but not like what can we do in the situation, maybe like more like what can we do really special in the situation. So that's why we this one-on-one idea came, and so that could explain how it happened. But it's like now it's, and the audience reaction is quite pretty nice. I think it has to be nice because it's so impressive. You come in, you have your show for yourself, and it's quite short. It's about 8 to 15 minutes, 13 minutes, and you have this solo for yourself. And it's really nice because we feel like we're connecting with every different like person coming in, which is quite nice.
Because the solos, it's only for one person, a couple, and a family.
You can come with your family or whoever you're living with. It's like as like a Chelsea cell or what. So that's that. Where it's 1 to as many people are living together.
Okay.
I think it was important to coming in this region, like there is no dance or even live arts outside of rock and roll or classic music or chanson. Chanson. There's no tradition here.
Okay.
So it was interesting to come and to have short forms.
Okay. And
so it has less concentration, and it's really like give a taste to the thing.
And another curiosity, the church, it's a real church, and it was closed till when? Because was
actually it was the owner buy it 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Tried to make it a multifunctional places.
Okay.
She did present some show, mainly music, a bit of dance, but they were working privately, so with no help from any government.
Okay.
So I think at this time it becomes really too much difficult, and so now they try to sell the church. So we reactivate like this summer, and we may bring also another project in September, in 3 weeks, for 1 month, just for 1 day, because we have a really good. We feel that really that the people are quite well. The public now who's coming is half and half tourists and half and half people from the local.
Okay.
And so we really reactivate the place, and the reaction are really, really good. And I think, okay, we have a good, un élan, comment on dit ça? A good swing.
Good.
So maybe we are talking to bring something in by the end of September.
Okay.
1 hour.
Okay. Super.
I think this project is quite like an exploring project.
Yes.
Like we're like the explorators here, and so that's why we started it. And we're like, okay, we'll see what can happen, because we don't know. We're not that often here, but it was not like a fund from government for decentralizing art, but we kind of took it and did something about decentralizing with it, because it was like, as I said first, we wanted to do it. So we kind of like took the opportunity to like, okay, let's do something outside, because we're available, and also we'll learn from it.
Okay.
But really, because I think the artists are also learning a lot from it, like being out in the different contexts.
This fund of the government exists before, or was created now for the COVID situation?
It was for the COVID situation.
For
it just appeared. It appeared and then disappeared.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That's why the project has to be really organized really fast because of it. That's now.
What is interesting also is because we're producing ourselves.
Okay.
So it's the first time that we're doing that completely. See, selling the ticket, pull the people in.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. But this is really interesting. Now I discover what we can do, what we have in our imagination to pull the people in. It's really interesting experience. Yeah. And,
Look, today I am doing the moderator, and tonight I will be the person in charge to sit down the people. So we are also doing like you. Okay, if you agree, we can show the trailer of Caravan Solos, the first one of the presentation.
Okay.
Okay, and because we needed to finish, it's already 5 to 5, and there is the other sessions that needed to start. We take some time from the others. And pots disparar el vídeo el que vam disparar ahir, de Caravana de Solos? El d'ahir. Okay, my friends, merci, 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 thanks. It has been really nice to see you, all of you again, you on the north and me on the south, and I hope that the next year you can be here and I can be there, and I miss you, really. I miss to come back to Montreal, yeah. Okay.
Merci, Marta.
Ciao, ciao, ciao. Ciao,
Thank you so
see
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you to you. Thank you to you.